Hello, podcast listeners. We know podcasts are a great way to catch up on a program that you may have missed on KSJE, and it's provided as a free service of this radio station. But you know, KSJE is now listener supported, and so while you enjoy this podcast, we hope that you'll also take some time to join KSJE. Become a member today. It's quite easy to do. Just go to our website at ksje.com/support and pick the level of support that best matches your budget. Thanks again for listening. Here's your podcast. Well, let me turn to my guests who are here with me in the studio this morning, as I mentioned, to talk about this unique educational opportunity for folks who have four-year Bachelor of Arts degrees but want to become teachers and get that master's degree. Joining me here in the studio from the Three Rivers Education Foundation, Bobby Zemanek-White is here. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
You bet. It's great to have you here. Also, Pat Martinez-Lopez is here as well. Pat, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here as well.
Thank you.
And this is a very exciting concept and grant that you both have been awarded, or the foundation's been awarded. And to get us started, talk to me a little bit about the foundation, because you do a lot of other things as well. But what's the focus and the mission of the foundation?
Mm-hmm. So the Three Rivers Education Foundation has been in the area officially as a nonprofit since 2008. And our goal, our mission, is to support districts and schools and children and families throughout New Mexico. We also work with a portion of Arizona, Texas, and southern Colorado. A variety of grants are operated through our foundation, and it's really determined by what the needs are, what the districts are identifying as their current needs. So right now we have a few grants that are operating out of the foundation. One of the largest is a literacy grant, and this is our second literacy grant. This is our last and final year for that, but it has supported a variety of different aspects of literacy.
Nice.
From providing tutoring to students after school, to providing professional development for teachers, for parents, working with the birth to 5 age. And a big portion of the grant is distributing books. And so you might have seen out in the communities, free little libraries.
Right, sure.
We often stock those and encourage community participants to help us with that, to keep those stocked. Because we know that, books and literacy, the more books in the home, the more likely we are to read.
Right, which is always a good thing,
Mm-hmm.
I would think. And so, with that being said, your grants are coming from other sources than the norm. That maybe instead of where the districts get their money from, your money
Mm-hmm.
comes from other sources, and then you can funnel that to the districts that maybe need it the most. Is that the idea?
That is correct. All of the districts do have to qualify for any of the grants that we provide. Our funding is all federal funding.
I see.
Competitive grants that
Right.
we apply for and have been awarded.
Got you. And then again, as you mentioned, you serve and work with districts here in Northwest New Mexico and Arizona too, a few.
Mm-hmm. And Colorado and a little bit of Texas for the literacy grant.
Sure.
We've also had a PACE grant that through Bloomfield Schools to encourage children to be more active. So really focusing on the physical education piece, getting students engaged and interested in more activity.
Right. And of course, when we're talking about education, it's always fascinating to me how different students in different districts have different educational
Mm-hmm.
needs and what gets them interested in staying in school and coming to school and being successful. And that really means different things to different people, no matter where you are, I suppose, right?
Right.
And it's changed a lot since maybe I was in school or you all were in school.
A little bit.
Right? It seems like there's a lot more going on in the kids' world these days than when we were in school.
Definitely, just the whole technology aspect.
Right.
And society in general. And, our goal is how do we help districts to help students succeed
Sure.
in this new world that they live in.
Exactly. And that's what we're talking about this morning. And so the focus of the program is this new grant that you have to offer this opportunity for folks who want to get into the teaching profession. And we hear every year, it seems, how difficult it is to recruit teachers to our school districts here. And the shortage maybe of teachers happening not just here, but all across the country. I think it's not a unique New Mexico issue necessarily.
Correct.
There's a lot of focus, I think, at the legislature being given to education, which is a good thing. that the conversation's going on, talking about maybe increasing teacher salaries and things along that line. And so there may be hopefully a renewed interest in the teaching profession with some of this. And so your grant, this new grant opportunity, kind of falls right into this ongoing discussion, I would think. And so in a nutshell, as I tried to explain, I think before, the idea is if you have a 4-year Bachelor of Arts degree and you always want to get into teaching, this grant offers you a great way to do it. And I'll let you take it from there. Bobby, how does it work?
So the grant is really focusing on individuals, like you said, that are not current teachers, but have an interest in becoming a teacher. And it will support those individuals through a $45,000 living wage salary for 1 year. And during that time, they will complete the master's degree coursework through ENMU, which is all online. And
so they're not driving to Portales. It's okay. They can just fire up their computer. Got it.
In fact, they can do their coursework in their pajamas if they so choose.
There you
because
go.
it's, at home, online.
You're online. That's right.
Yeah. So the coursework is a portion of that. And the other portion is that they will be in a school district that we partner with, so one of those 6. And they'll be working with a master teacher, really learning in depth what it takes to succeed as a teacher. And they'll do that 60% of their contract time. So for a portion of the day, they're in the school, seeing what it's really like. And the other portion, they're focusing on their coursework.
Interesting. Got you. And Pat, we were talking before we came on the air this morning that your job, and also Bobby works as a coach, and so you're available, you both are available to help these students, I guess, if they run into a snag or have a question about something they've seen in their classwork or in their residency?
That's correct, Scott. And we also provide on-the-job training. And so we pull them out once a month to do some in-depth training with them, let's say like on how to write an IEP, the individualized education plan.
Right.
Other times we're, observing as they're doing lessons, giving them some feedback. If they're having problems with their courses, maybe it's a research paper or even a discussion, we're available via text, via phone, via email.
Right.
To help them however we can. It's a tough program, whether you're in the classroom or whether you're taking courses, and so we just want to be able to support them whatever they need.
Sure. And the unique thing about this opportunity, it seems to me, is that $45,000 living wage residency. So as the students are going to school and taking these classes and spending time in the classroom and learning from these master teachers, they are also getting this income, if you will, so that they can concentrate, I guess, on the work in the classroom and their schoolwork, right?
Right.
Is how it's designed.
So that income pays, of course, it's their living wage, but they're paying their tuition out of there as well. And so that runs about $3,500 a semester. So, that $45,000 helps cover everything.
Right. But it certainly makes it more manageable than not having that.
Of course.
That wage as part of this, because not every program offers this. There are certainly lots of ways folks can get teaching certifications, but not all of them have this extra financial incentive, I would suppose,
right.
Which is what we're talking about. And Bobby, with that being said, with the students that are coming into this is a multi-year opportunity, right? So it's going to start this year?
We've actually already started.
You're underway. Okay.
We are underway. Right now we are recruiting for individuals that could begin coursework in the summer or in the fall.
Okay.
And the residency would start next fall, so it would be fall and spring. And there are 9 slots per year. But we're kind of combining 2 years because funding starts in October. You can't really...
Federal government, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. Yes, I understand.
So we're looking for 13 individuals right now to begin this next year pursuing that teaching degree.
Very good. And with the students that are already underway, how are they doing? Can you give us a progress report?
Well, they're into it 2 weeks.
Oh, that's it. Okay. Well, then it's
actually,
brand new.
We met with one of them last week
for
the training, or earlier this week, actually, and he's doing well.
Okay.
He's enjoying it. I think he's beginning to realize, what teaching is all about.
Right. Good.
But very much enjoying it.
Okay. Yes. Pat, you would concur?
I would agree.
Okay.
100%.
And we were talking before we came on the air this morning that you are looking for folks who want to get specifically into certain areas of teaching, right? It's math and science and special education. Those are the three areas really that you are looking for, correct? It's not, I can't come in and be a history teacher with this program.
That's correct. As we mentioned earlier, we always work with the districts to identify what their needs are, and the math, science, and special education vacancies are what they really have a challenge with filling.
Right. And I would suppose that that also offers some job security, since there's so much shortages around the state, around the county with these openings, right? So once you finish this program, you're probably guaranteed a spot.
Pretty much. We were talking to a superintendent earlier this week, and she indicated that there were 700 openings in New Mexico this fall.
Wow.
And many of those
Wow.
are still unfilled with qualified individuals. They
Right.
might have a long-term sub, but
Sure.
not licensed teachers.
Right. Interesting. My guest this morning from the Three Rivers Education Foundation, we are talking about a new grant opportunity that allows folks with a 4-year Bachelor of Arts degree, not necessarily in education or teaching, obviously, to get into the teaching profession and get a master's degree once you're done with this, right?
Exactly.
And get into a classroom. And it takes about a year, more or less. Is that the idea?
About a year.
Concentrating it into 12 months almost.
So it's Bachelor of Art and Bachelor of Science.
It's either.
Right.
I got you. You can accommodate either one if they
Right.
want to be a teacher.
Right.
You can make it work. And the program is, again, online through Eastern New Mexico University. And in addition, the student is taking their online classes and also spending about 60% of their time in the classroom, and they're teamed up with a master teacher. Is that the idea?
Exactly.
And the master teacher, for folks maybe who aren't familiar with that term, what does that mean? This is a teacher that has a certain other level of education and experience in the classroom?
As you know, with the evaluation system in New Mexico, we're looking for teachers that are able to really meet student needs. And so this master teacher has shown through their evaluations, through student scores, principal observation, all of those pieces, to be a teacher that is very effective and helping to improve student achievement in the classroom. And so it's with that person that the participants are placed, with the goal of really providing that opportunity to see and hear and engage in a very effective, productive, successful classroom.
Learning from the best, as it were, I would think.
The cream of the crop.
Right. And these teachers have a lot of experience with dealing with these students in the classroom and reaching out to these students, because I know, again, it can be a bit difficult when you have a classroom of 20 kids and all of them learning at different paces and different levels and things along that line, which is what a modern classroom probably looks like today.
Yeah. Classrooms are challenging.
They can be. Pat, what would you like to add?
Well, I was just thinking about special education. It's changed so much. When I first came into special education in the early 80s, the IEP was 3 pages long. You had the cover page, you had the goals and objectives, you had a little bit of information there if they needed therapy.
That individual education plan, that
now
IEP.
the individual education plan is anywhere from 50 to 100 pages, and litigation. It just seems like every time we turn around, there's either a due process or some sort of litigation with that IEP. And so just the focus that people have to have on writing a quality IEP and knowing how to do that effectively so that they, one, don't get themselves or their district in trouble. So we spent a lot of time on doing that. We spent a lot of time on planning and instruction, helping them set up their schedules so that they can manage their classroom. It's a lot. It's just a lot.
Sure. But in that, too, it is important, though, because a lot of children, I think, are getting special education services today that maybe weren't identified for them previously. Is that something, too, we're seeing in schools?
That's correct. In some districts, it's as high as 20% of the students in the district have an IEP. Others, so anywhere from 15 to 20%.
Right. Fascinating. Well, it's a very interesting program and a great opportunity, I think, again, for folks who've been thinking about getting into teaching and maybe haven't made that leap. And now here's a great way to do that. And again, this other financial part of it seems like it's a a win-win, because the person gets to get their education, help to pay for the education, which is always a big question mark of how to do that, and get some money to live on while they're going through this 1 year educational and on-the-job training, as it were. So let's take a short break. And when we come back, we'll talk more about this opportunity and teaching in New Mexico. More with my guests in just a moment right here on KSJE. The time is 8:29. This program is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center, who's expanding its services to offer low-cost blood screenings all year round, now offering walk-in convenience to get the blood tests you want when you want them. MyLabs, patient-ordered testing, is available in Farmington at the hospital's laboratory and the Outpatient Diagnostic Center on 30th Street. Also in Aztec at San Juan Health Partners Family Medicine at 120 Llanos Street. With nearly 20 tests available, there's an option for everyone. MyLabs, patient-ordered testing, a wellness service of San Juan Regional Medical Center. I'm Scott Michlin. My guests on the radio this morning with me from Three Rivers Education Foundation, talking about a unique opportunity for folks who want to become teachers and get their master's degree in education. Again, Bobby Semanik-White is here. Good morning. Thank you for being here. And also Pat Martinez-Lopez is here. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Scott.
And we were just talking during the break that it's been a while since you both were with me on the radio, and now we've added cameras and everything else, all these other shiny things in the studio to talk about this morning. But what a great opportunity for folks who want to get into the teaching profession. And Bobby, talk to me again, just for folks who are maybe just joining us, what this is all about, what the opportunity is.
It's an opportunity for individuals who have a bachelor's or a Bachelor of Science, either one, to pursue a career in education. So they don't have any prior experience in education, and that's exactly what we're looking for. It's an opportunity, a $45,000 living wage salary for 1 year, so that individuals are able to complete a master's degree through ENMU, and the coursework is all online.
Right.
And at the same time, they will be working in a school with a master teacher for 2 semesters, really learning what it is to work in a classroom.
Right. And you're looking for specifically math and science
and special education.
And special education are the 3 areas.
Yeah. So individuals who have a background in math or science, or individuals from any other area, would be eligible for the special education route.
Right. And that is what you're looking for. And again, for someone like me that thinks about the details and the nitty-gritty and things like that, I mean, if someone's thinking about how do I pay for my master's degree, you can use your $45,000 living wage to pay your tuition and costs out of that, while you're also then getting your training and coursework and everything else, is what it's designed to do, I think.
It is a $45,000 1-year living wage, which is intended to support individuals as they are completing the coursework and the residency. Right.
But that would eliminate maybe the need for financial aid or student loan or things like that would have to be paid off later.
Correct.
Is kind of the idea. And so we were talking during the break too that you both are coaches for these students and are available to help them during this year when they're working on getting their degree, and they're in the classroom for about 60% of their time, but you're also helping them beyond that 1 year, correct?
There's really a support network built into the program. And yes, we are there as their coach for that year. They'll have a master teacher. But for the 2 years after they complete the program, when they are the teacher of record in the classroom, we are there to support them. We will still visit them at least twice a month, but we are on call, available via text, any way to support their success in the classroom.
And Pat, that's got to be important, I would think, for a teacher. I mean, some may not need the access to both of you as coaches, but others may feel like that's a good thing moving forward, that once they're on their own, they still have the 2 of you and others maybe to help them.
Right. And I think it's actually the 2 years after, which we call the induction period, that they need support most of all. Because, while they're going through the program, they have that master teacher, they have us, they have their professors, their advisors. But once they get out in that classroom by themselves, that's when it really becomes important for us to, one, keep up with them, whether it's via Skype, via text, or the visits that we do with them twice a month.
Right. And that is important, Bobby. Again, I imagine when you're talking and working with these brand new teachers, again, it's important to keep them motivated and be available to answer any questions they may have, especially pretty quickly if they're dealing with something that's in the classroom or that they have to deal with again maybe tomorrow.
The first 2 years are really the most challenging. And the experience in those 2 years, we find that a very strong induction program is what encourages new teachers to stay in the field. If that isn't a positive experience those first few years, we see that they're leaving the teaching field. And we know what the shortage is, that we need highly qualified teachers that feel comfortable and competent and successful
Right.
in the classroom.
And a lot of times I hear that teaching is one of those professions where you really have to have a passion for it, or at least that helps, like kind of like broadcasting, because we know there's always talk about teacher pay and it could be better, and like broadcasting could be better. But if you don't have a passion for it, you can get burnt out maybe pretty quickly. And I imagine this is what you're talking about, and having that support available for these new teachers kind of keeps hopefully that passion going.
Teaching is definitely a very challenging position, one that I absolutely loved as a teacher, but also recognizing that, it's a difficult position. And things are always changing. It can be one of the most rewarding when you see that child that's finally figured out how to do something. That is just incredibly empowering for the teacher and rewarding.
Right. You look out over that classroom and see those little light bulbs going on, and you can tell that they're getting it, after a lesson or something. They've been struggling with a concept or something like that. Pat, I imagine for you, same kind of thing, right? It's really, there is a passion involved in education.
There is, and I tell everyone, if you're out there in your job, whatever job you have, and people keep coming to you, to ask you, they're not going to the bosses, they're coming to ask you, or if you find yourself showing people how to do things, you figure out how to do something quicker and safer, you have a knack for teaching, and you will be awesome in the classroom. You will be awesome because you will, you're already doing it. You are already doing it. Here's an opportunity for us to help you get that master's degree so that you can go in there and get paid for it.
Right. Which is a great opportunity. And again, so the qualifications, Bobby, for folks that you're looking for to sign up for this program, we have them, I know, on the screen as well to remind folks of what you're looking for. But let's go over those real quick if you don't mind.
So we are looking for candidates that have a BA or a BS, either a math or science background, or for the special education realm, it can be any BA or BS, pretty much. They can never have served as a teacher of record, so individuals who would be new to the profession.
Right.
Candidates that are committed to becoming a teacher, there is a 3-year commitment that they're making. And individuals who enjoy working with children and enjoy making a difference.
Right. And that 3 years, that includes that the first year is the education year, but then the 2 years would be in the classroom, is what you're talking about. And the classroom would be in one of these districts that you are working with, correct? So that's the other part of this, is where their residency would be and then where they're going afterwards, I suppose.
We have 6 districts that we're working with, and yes, it would be in one of those districts. And once they complete the program, knowing that there are, openings that are not filled at this point, finding a position in the district where they do their residency will be quite easy.
Right, as we talked about, because there's tons of openings and tons of demand for teachers with these skills.
Exactly.
Which is what we're seeing. And I suppose if they didn't want to stay in the area but wanted to relocate to another district outside, that's possible?
For their commitment for the, after they complete the program, so their payback, so to speak, would have to be one in the partnering districts.
I see. But after that 3 years, they would certainly have their certificate and their qualifications to write their own ticket, I suppose, wherever they'd like to go. So that's how it would work. Perfect. And so, again, for folks who are listening and want to apply, the best way would be to get a hold of you or go online, or what would you suggest?
Either way, there is a online bulletin board with more information, and the address for that is Padlet.com, so it's PADLET.com/3RIV-TQP, which is the acronym for the grant. So that's the number 3, RIV,
Right.
TQP, / and the word information. And at that site, you will find a variety of different resources, one of those being more information about the program.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find the application link there as well, and a link to ENMU. So if you wanted to take a closer look at what the classes might be that for your particular program,
Right.
As well as a variety of other resources.
Okay.
Or my email address is online, and that is bzamonic.white@3rivtqp.org. Or
That number 3 again. Don't write out the word 3.
right.
It's the number 3, but yes.
Mm-hmm. And they're also welcome to call me.
Okay.
And that number is 505-486-4874.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. And Pat, again, you're there to help as a coach for
Correct.
these students as they get in and get going. And I imagine just like those students, you can see maybe those little light bulbs go off over the teachers' heads too
Oh, yes, all the time.
when they get it, right?
Right.
So that's important as well. Well, thank you both for coming in this morning and explaining this program to me and sharing it with our listeners and viewers. I think it's, again, a great opportunity for folks who may be thinking about a career change or maybe see that maybe their area is changing with the changing economies, and this is a great opportunity to kind of bridge that gap to get new training, new degrees, and become a teacher while still having this great living wage to be able to pay for it while you're getting all those ducks in a row. So it seems like it's a win-win.
It is.
And for school districts too, and our kids,
And our children,
Which
our
is-
communities.
what it's all about. So wonderful information. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Did you enjoy that podcast? We hope that you did. And if you did, share it with your friends. And if you really want to keep podcasts like this coming, please support KSJE. You can do it easily online at ksje.com.